September 15, 2022. And what God said is that New York's sin, her primary sin, is being a land of sodomy and sexual immorality. God is speaking directly here to the shocking, can't be matched by any other state in the United States rate of homosexuality. Out and proud homosexuality in New York City. He was also speaking of the abortion, especially the late term abortion laws that were passed, I think, in 2016 or 2017 here in New York City, that even in the third trimester of pregnancy, a baby can be aborted. God also said that the problem with New York City is that New York City is overly tolerant. So people in New York City want to make room for all sorts. People in New York City want to tolerate every kind of thing that God hates. In fact, this is the city where if it's in the Bible as a sin, you can be guaranteed that in New York City, it is not only accepted, but it is praised, and it is called diversity, and it is called being different, and it is called live your truth. And God says for that, the punishment for New York is even worse than Florida. Oh, one of the punishments for Florida is that God said that parts of Florida will break off and go into the sea. And the prophecy for that is from September and October 2022. So there were many little snippets on natural disasters that the Lord was giving me. I put them all together, September 2022, October 2022. You can find that in one video. That video is called Natural Disasters, the Trans Army, and the Economy. And in that prophecy, God said that we will see death in Florida, storms across America, basically, that are so bad that social media will capture bodies that are floating in the water after the disasters are over. The Lord says that usually local news media and even national news media always extremely sanitize the news. So when something really bad happens, such as shootings that we've seen here in New York City, when people get shot here in New York City, it's almost as if the news media reserves the right to blur out reality by saying, oh, the next scenes will be disturbing. And then when they show it to you, they have blurred out the people, they've blurred out the blood, they've blurred out the shooter, they've blurred out the sky, the wind, the trees, the birds flying by, and all you can basically hear is a voiceover. And then we come back to the newscaster who says, I hope you weren't traumatized by that. But God says that this is the age of social media. And when natural disasters happen and people's bodies are floating by in the water, people will capture it and they will put it on all the social media sites. And the social media sites will not be able to pull the videos down fast enough because people will take those videos and replicate them. And when they take them down, other people will replicate them and repost them everywhere. And the Lord says that for the first time, America will actually see what it is like when his hand of protection is removed and this nation begins to suffer the types of horrible, devastating mass death, natural disasters that other nations have always experienced. So for New York, God says that the punishment will be that there will be nothing left, that everything about New York City will be taken under the water, that New York City will also experience natural disasters such as flooding, such as storms. And this has happened, I think, just at the end of September. At the end of September, I think on September 29th, there was also record flooding here in New York City to the point where many areas of Brooklyn were impassable. The water rose to the point that it was getting into the buses. The water rose to the point where many train stations were flooded out. And you can trust the insurance companies to put a freeze on premiums. I know the one that I'm with put a freeze on premiums for about 5 days to make sure that all people who were coming after that, they put a freeze, I think, from the 30th of September all the way to the 5th. And that freeze was to make sure that anybody rushing to get house insurance or renter's insurance, as is my case, could not get new policies. So those of us who already have could not even use the website. The website was completely frozen. And they did it like that so that they could quickly amp up the policies so that when new people are coming in, I guess, for them, they would be getting much higher rates. And please bear in mind, there are many prophecies on flooding on this blog from 2020 and 2021, one of them is called Woe to the Cities, Floods, Woe to the Cities, Floods. And what God was warning as far back as 2020 is when these natural disasters hit, many insurers are going to do what insurers do best. They're going to deny claims. So I already prophesied that you who are thinking that Nationwide is on your side and like a good neighbor, State Farm will be there. This will not happen at all. Even if they know a thing or two, because they've seen a thing or two, they will not give you 2 cents. When your home is washed away, when your farm is destroyed, when all your farming implements are hit by lightning and things like that, basically they will start to say in the United States of America, all the insurance companies will start to default on claims and they will say that acts of God are not covered. They already say that, but usually they are willing to look at things on a case-by-case business. However, when there begin to be masses of people bringing insurance claims, when masses of people are suddenly out of pocket, out of house, out of home, out of safety, out of everything, and they're rushing to the insurance company to at least try to withdraw a little money, that kind of mass influx, that kind of mass demand on the insurance company will be overwhelming, and they will just put out a blanket no. So please know that you have been warned about that here on the Master's Voice since 2020. 2019, when the first flood prophecies were going up, so that you can manage your expectations and so that you can have an understanding that though you may have a policy, though you may have something on paper, in reality, you will be taking part in Psalm 93 verse 4, where it says that the Lord on high is mightier than the noise of the flood. It is time to start seeking God for safety, for instance, if you live next to the sea, or if you live next to an area that has already been prophesied to have floods. Those who trust in the arm of the flesh, you will be greatly embarrassed. God will see to it that you are put to shame if you're trusting in insurance policies and nest eggs and things like that. God is going to break the back of America. God is going to break the staff of bread in America. He's going to break every safety. He's going to break everything and everyone that people put their trust in. You trust in man, you are basically lining yourself up to be put to shame in the years ahead. The Lord is not going to tolerate rivals, especially when it comes to his people, especially when it comes to Christians. He is not going to tolerate people claiming that they are born again and yet putting their trust in, oh no, we're triple insured and double insured. He's going to allow you to have shame of face, so that you can know that there's